she should know about it, as she has been on duty a couple of times that I've noticed since I started putting those reports in the MDW.
Okay. Just in the future, if there is anything coming from the commissioner's office straight to, obviously it was different when you were in the troopers, but now that you're an LSPD sergeant, obviously anything that's coming to you, if you're getting orders from somebody else in another high command, just make sure that we know about it. Please. This is not because I'm involved. This is more, me and Libby need to know things, and you and Sweets and those guys you're the shift to touch base, and we need to know things regardless of who's giving you the order. You know what I mean?
I completely agree, and obviously the onus is on myself or the other sergeants and lieutenants in some way. But at the same time, Dark, I feel like I should point out that the shoe also needs to be on the other foot. If the commissioner is giving me an order, or the sheriff or Stubble is getting an order, that should also be communicated to you all. If it's like that.
I agree, but let's be honest, most of the time that isn't happening. Most of the time you're getting orders from the commissioner's office, not from the sheriff or the undersheriff.
Right.
So until that day occurs, I can't agree with you. So if the commissioner's office does stay around, then just keep us informed, please.
Fair enough. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Manson. I got a question. Let's do a bit of mathematics here, because I'm kind of curious about this. Brian was unsuspended today, the 8th of September at 3:48 UTC. Here, this report was posted on the 7th. What did I say? November. The 7th of September. So this was 24 hours before he was unsuspended. So why is he in this report?
Hello.
Hey, Aurora. Are you at Mission Run right now?
I am.
Would you ever come to the captain's office really quick?
Yeah, no problem. I'll be right there.
Thank you. GMT is equal to UTC. I'm pretty sure most of the time. It's either plus or minus 1. Are you in the room, or are you at the door?
Standing right in front of you.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just got caught up with Matt on about the, I guess the missing report. Have you been made aware of that?
Yeah. He had kind of lumped it in with the trees and stuff. I asked him if he could write it out as a separate report, with all the facts and everything, so we have it when it goes to the docket.
Yeah, I figured we needed that, so I wanted to push him on that anyway. Okay, are you taking lead on the Divine situation?
Yeah. I've kind of been the one pushing for a lot of the things.
Okay.
Technically, I think it's like Tessa and Svensson are overseeing it, but for MCU-wise, I think it's just me that's involved in it. And I guess Bayo is strike team.
Okay. Has Brian been unsuspended, as far as you're aware, to help with the Divine situation?
So what I was told last night when he was brought in was he was unsuspended to deal with it.
Okay. And that was last night when Divine was apprehended?
It was, yeah, a little bit. We had already done a few interrogations a few hours into it.
Okay. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So, in regards to the Paleto PD bombing report,
Yeah.
so when you were interrogating Cap Terranova, that was with Brian?
No, it was actually just before the war, Terranova had called us over to Air X to show us something, and we met up with him. And he said we could use his military attack helicopter in the war if we needed it. And we were kind of just discussing with him about Sanguine, any information he could give us. And he was saying he's on our side. He has nothing to do with them. But I said the only thing he can tell us is codename Trojan.
Oh, I see.
At the
So
time, we believed Trojan Horse was like them smuggling things into Los Santos to attack at the same time as the invasion. But now we believe it's representative of the horse. At codename 4, we believe Trojan would be Cap Terranova himself.
Okay. All right. Okay. I had concerns that Brian was acting as a police officer when he was suspended, but if you're assuring me that's not the case.
Yeah, all of that was before he was part of interrogation and was part of some decision making and conversations about how everything was happening last night, along with Svensson and Tessa.
Okay. And just to clarify, in the past, I guess, I don't know how long it's been now, 5 or so days, Brian hasn't had any contact with yourself regarding MCU work?
He definitely has. He told us that he contacted the senator about getting Luca the director. We have had to talk to him as well about information he has that we need. Because he was the only person that has it.
Understood. So is it a case of him handing over files or having discussions about the cases?
He's been like just telling us what he knows about things. Like I had to ask him about Baba Yaga. That was all before me, and he filled me in on everything he knows about Baba Yaga because they're currently attacking.
Okay. Has Brian been given any directives to any MC operatives or anybody in PD?
Yes, and we've brought that up. We had brought it up to Moulton because he's kind of our command liaison at the moment. Just that like he put Luca as he was suspended. He told us Luca was in charge, and we were all like, "Wait, can he do that? He's suspended." So we kind of just brought it up and then brought it up the chain of command, and then we ended up being told that Luca is. I talked to Stubble about this as well.
Okay.
I filled him in on all of that, I think 2 days ago.
All right. Well, yeah, I got no more questions. Thank you. All right. Obviously, if you need anything, just talk to Mountain, but you can always come to me directly.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Keep it up.
There's only 2, but the pattern is that it's in such a short amount of time.
"911, officer at police." Has he gone home? Has he gone to bed? Oh, I think he's gone to bed already. Yeah, Mountain went bed. We are a phone guy, huh?
Hey.
Hey, so a couple of concerning things that I've just pulled up. First of all, I think you might already know about this, but Brian perhaps giving directives to MCU while he's suspended.
Yeah, I got told about that.
Okay.
Not good.
Yeah.
Axel had his own sit down with them apparently and appointed Kovovich as the official step-in supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
But that was after apparently Brian had already reached out to Senator, and the Senator had based on Brian's recommendation as well. So I
Hmm.
don't know. It's this whole thing that's really unnecessary.
Yeah, I would agree. And then the second thing is,
Do you know about the $1 million?
huh?
There's the third thing. You do the second thing, and I'll tell you about the third.
Okay. Second thing is, so you know how we went to the island to extradite Divine, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what caused the whole treaty to fail, and then the war happened.
Yeah, because they
Well,
were going there as like agents of ages, some bullshit.
right. Well, when we went there to extradite him, Divine actually didn't have a warrant or any pending charges in Los Santos. So that extradition was, there was no paper trail at all for that extradition. And there still isn't a report. So
We really, this is so bad.
So from what I spoke to Mountain, essentially what it came down to was, I guess they changed all Divine's information in our system to his undercover op, or
Yeah, on the
persona,
MW.
right?
Yeah.
So they couldn't actually write a warrant for his name because his
Correct.
name wasn't there
Yeah.
anymore. But even still, I think Toretti gave essentially the order to Mountain to hold off on any charges on Divine until his undercover operation had completed. So any kind of report or anything was pushed off until it was wrapped up.
Jesus.
Yeah. So what's your $1 million thing?
3 days before Toretti resigned, he sent $1 million from the commission's account to Shelby. He was already fine at this point. With a note of like Shelby's last payment, sad face. So it could straight just be like an old bonus, because all bonuses were frozen at the time in the mayor's office. So it could be an older one. It could be paying for like the charges that she bought for the shed garage, or a bunch of different reasons. But it could also be Toretti straight up sending $1 million to his fiance and then resigning. So Malton and Willie looking into it. I haven't posted the picture in the high command stuff because I know there's still some tags that people have. So
Yeah. Okay. That's bad. Yeah,
it's not good, is it?
It's not a good look. That's not. Yeah.
It's not. No. Yeah. It's an area of concern.
Yeah. And did you get my email yesterday too?
Probably. I got so many emails yesterday.
I'll just tell you. Essentially, Bundy confirmed I got a recording of it. He knew his guarantee warning and everything, and he basically told me outright that Brian, when Bundy woke up and Brian was like, "Hey, Divine's been leaked," and then was like, "You still got that sniper rifle?" And then told him to come to the meeting. So Bundy got his sniper rifle because from his perspective, Brian implied that he needed to grab his sniper rifle. Went to the meeting. Brian, Axel, and Toretti were all in the same car at LSIA discussing. When Bundy got there, he got in the vehicle and they were actively discussing killing Divine when he got there, and there was no jokes involved.
Big T was in on this. I thought
Big
Big T was
T-
pissed about this.
Yeah, Big T was apparently. This is
Aware.
This
Right.
is-
He was there and aware.
Well, this is the quote I got. He was looking at memes on his phone, and apparently someone was actively, I guess, sending maymays to his phone, and he was pissed about that. But eventually Bundy brought up the alternative idea of extraditing the guy instead, and that's when Toretti piped out. I was like, thank you, because I guess Bundy must have said that killing the guy was a bad idea. But eventually they actually latched on to that idea, and that's how we got to the extradition. But unless Bundy had been there, I mean, Divine could be dead right now.
Yeah.
So, I think Axel dodged a bullet. Well, he didn't. That's too early. But that wouldn't have looked good on his panel, basically, is what I was going to get to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, oh, one more thing. Silly me. Kiki
Okay.
Pendragon got shot in the head by a Divine. You knew that, right?
Yeah, I got told. Bryce
Yeah.
Miller calling me saying it was Bolter that did it.
Okay, that's all right. Well, that's
Yeah, I told him to get sober.
okay. Well, it looks like Bolto was possibly the
A
target.
witness. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, Bolto got a phone call, like an anonymous phone call, and then I guess told them that he was deaf because he couldn't hear who it was on the other end of the phone. I think he might actually be deaf, and said to drop it in his mailbox or something. So that's when he went to his house, and Kiki was there, and then there was someone holding up Kiki at gunpoint. So I don't know whether that's a coincidence or Balto's in trouble or something, but anyway, so yeah, Kiki got shot by Divine, but earlier Brian Knight called Kiki and said, had some pleasantries, and then asked her what her involvement with the Sanguine situation was, which she told him she was involved from the start. And then he said that she would have a gift within 24 hours, and then told her to stay safe. And then I guess hung up the phone.
She got shot a couple hours later.
I don't know whether it was a couple hours later, but it was a certain amount of time later, yes.
Oh my god. Good fucking god.
And she, she's been in ICU and she hasn't received a gift. I made sure to ask that question.
Hold on, Doc, one moment. Say again, Jeffy. Okay, cool. Sorry, I'm at the ICU ward. Juno had an overdose yesterday or something.
Oh, Jesus. She all right?
That's not public knowledge. That's high command knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, she's okay.
All right. Yeah, I think you're officially filled in on the spew of bad stuff that keeps happening every day.
Did I tell you about the Odessa stuff?
I spoke to Odessa, so maybe you didn't tell me anything, but
So Odessa wanted to talk with High Command about pretty much like complaints about Brian and MCU and how it was being operated. And then I said, that sounds good. We should probably have multiple members of High Command. So, it's not just me hearing it and then telling you, or you hearing it telling me, it's better to have us all here and hearing it straight from the source. And then apparently Odessa at the same time has been like leading MCU, like telling them what to do and trying to run the meetings and whatnot. And then told multiple detectives that the high command meeting was going to happen and that she wanted them to show up. And the plan for the meeting was to propose like the MCU rebrand and how she's going to run it.
oh,
Which resulted in a lot of MCU being very pissed because they really don't want that. And I don't know, from what I got from Odessa, it was complaints and issues and possibly like what to do going forward. But I can see how they could possibly interpret her trying to run it, or it could be like straight up she is trying to usurp Brian and overtake it. It's a goddamn Game of Thrones.
what is happening right now?
I don't know. But Axel had a meeting with MCU and appointed Kovacic as their like interim person, and Moulton officially is like the command like in between. I'm setting up a thing, or I'm gonna try to set up a thing where it's just like High Command have access and Moulton has access, and the Command Discordia, and then he's gonna send us weekly MCU reports every week, and we're gonna try
Oh,
that
thank
system
God.
going forward. Yeah.
Oh my
So,
God, we can be filled in on things.
yeah, Malta doesn't have power. He's literally just a messenger for us. So,
Yeah.
that's great. And Kovacic does not want to be the MCU person like 24/7.
I mean, that's
He like
okay, yeah.
he's okay to be the interim supervisor, but he doesn't want it. And talk apparently between Malton and the rest of the supervisors at MCU, they think it'd be better to just have the supervisors have powers and responsibilities, and then they just communicate with high command. They don't necessarily feel they need a director.
Hey, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty mature. Yeah, I like that. I mean,
yeah.
I think it would be good to have a director, but
Yeah.
I think either way can run. Okay, well, yeah, thanks for letting me know. Don't really know what to do with myself anymore. I think I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah, maybe take it easy. If
Yeah.
I'm dead, Eastern Bloc, apparently.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, I heard.
Well, there's gunshots outside.
Okay. All right. I'll speak to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Aaron.
Any tea?
Even for a British man, Aaron, I've never had so much tea in my life.
Anything you're gonna tell me?
Oh my god, there was so much I've probably forgotten it all. Let me write stuff down, Aaron, and then I'll let you know.
Okay. Just so you know, I talked to Shelby the other day. It was a pretty interesting conversation. Apparently, let's see, look at my notes here. Axel, Brian, Svensson, and others said Shelby started war, but Toretti called them out by saying that they planned on going to war before the panel even happened, and Axel said that's besides the point. Now, that's my tea. But I think you were there, so it's not really tea to you.
Yeah, I was there.
Damn it.
Any tea that I can tell you?
Well, really, you can tell me anything because I'm not a snitch, but, you know, I understand the hesitation.
I'm gonna give you the tea that's probably least gonna stir any pots in case, you know. Don't be mad. I mean, this is pretty. I don't know what your feelings are about the war. But we went to, you know, as you probably know, we went to Sanguine to extradite Divine, right? You aware of that?
No.
Good. So the reason the treaty broke down is because we went to Sanguine to extradite Divine under the legislation of Aegis that Aegis can extradite people. So our members of PD that were also in Aegis went over there to extradite him for charges that he had committed back in Los Santos.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Yet when that happened, there was no report, no warrant written, no pending charges for Johnny Divine in Los Santos when we did that. So
there's no proof he committed crimes, therefore we violated the treaty.
that's the concern I'm having right now.
Oh my god, now that is tea! That's what I'm talking about right there, Dark. That's good. That's good shit right there. Hot damn. That is some shit. That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's not black and white. There was reasons to why there wasn't a report and stuff like that. You know, he was undercover at the time, so there was concerns as to, you know, leaking his identity and stuff like this. But well, I think we all know how that went. Okay.
I'm aware.
Well, I mean, listen, Bison. At the end of the day, you and a very small number of people now know this. So if it gets leaked,
yeah.
you get fired, man.
I ain't saying shit, man. I've gotten so much tea with all these meetings I've been in. I've actually been learning about shit I didn't know anything happened. I didn't even know happened.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what the worst?
Oh, do you honestly, want the document too? Actually,
what?
Well, Libby has the document that has all the interviews on it. Am I supposed to give it to you too?
No, that's okay. You can keep that between you and me. I'll be honest. That's the kind of information that should be public anyway. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I was actually
What's your opinion on whistleblowers?
You what?
Oh, nothing.
I tried that. It didn't go too well.
Nothing. All right, I think I'm gonna go home.
Yeah. Okay.
What you gonna say?
What was I gonna say? I forgot actually. Oh, if you guys need a designated PR person, let me know. That way, we can actually get info to the main public, and they don't hate us for everything.
You know, we might be looking for one person per shift for that kind of thing. So, you know, obviously, put your hand up when that happens.
All right, have a good me.
All right, no
Have a
links.
good night, Dark.
Fucking moths, man. I fucking hate them. Fucking little bastard, ugly fucking butterflies. Piss off. I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, we're good. It fucking flew at me like fucking kamikaze, dude. Jesus Christ. Right, do I actually have anything else to do tonight? Because I really want to go and lie down in a cold room. Because you know what I really need to get so I can prove to you guys? I need to get a thermometer for my room. I just need a thermometer and I'll put it on my desk and I'll get a thermometer cam and we'll put that on. Put an actual thermometer cam. All right, so Brian's panel tomorrow, by the way. This is going to be here. Oh, look, it's a nice date. So then we've got to add. Anything else? I don't think so. The Tourette thing's really fucking bad, dude. Delay it 2 days, please, for a friend. Listen, my PayPal's in the comments below. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please, please don't click that. Please. No, we can't delay it. It's already been delayed too long. I'm sorry, Orcs. I don't understand the argument that there was no warrant for Divine because they already wanted to keep his identity safe when it has already been leaked. Well, it hadn't been leaked to that point. So when I know what you're saying. So when he first did it, relating to pending charges for TJ Walker. So when he first, I guess, shot Dundee, the PD decided, let's not write a report or anything to keep his cover, essentially. That's what we've got so far from Mountain, and that's apparently what Tourette said. We won't write a report, and we won't do anything to keep his cover. That's not a good look. And so there was no report. But then 8/11 happened with Shelby, and Divine's leaked, right? So then the question is, yes, they wanted to extradite him, but why wouldn't they, before they went and extradited him, why wouldn't they, like, write the warrant then, at least? But even, like, this, it's so hard to, like, it's so hard to be on PD's side when it's hard to say even PD because it's a very select few individuals that this has happened with. But like, it's just like there's no paper trail. Oh no, TJ Walker's calling us. Oh fuck, Mr. Walker.
Wow, you actually pick up this time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll be honest, TJ. The timing has been incredibly bad. Are you in prison right now?
Stop before you say it. It's only going to benefit you. Don't even try it. I'll get a new phone anyway. Yes, of course I'm in prison.
Okay. So if I 3-on-1 DLC right now, does that put our call on a timer?
Yes, it does. So unless you actually want to learn something from me, or if you actually want to have a conversation, then it's going to cut it short. And afterwards, I will never speak to you again.
Okay. All right. What is it?
Well, I mean, you wanted to have a conversation at some point. I was actually curious about this whole thing and war crimes and shit that has been occurred. Do you know, technicality wise, is if you declare a sovereign state revoked, does it then fall under the actual legislation and guise of the government of San Andreas? Because if that is true, the medical neutrality is back on the table. War crimes are absolutely there, and Geneva Convention does exist.
Okay. For the first part, if you revoke someone's sovereignty, if it was originally Los Santos or San Andreas land, then yeah, I would imagine it would be under San Andreas once its sovereignty's been removed.
Which
As for
had been crossed out and given in by legislation. It says the owner is Jaeger. So by legislation was given by San Andreas to Jaeger, and then was then revoked.
right, I would agree. The issue is war crimes. So the information that we have been told for a long time now is that San Andreas does not abide by the Geneva Convention. And as such, any international law and crimes as such would not be applicable to anybody anywhere in the state of San Andreas.
That would still make it a state of San Andreas if they revoke it, though. Would it not?
You know about the island?
Correct.
No, yeah. But what I'm saying
Yeah.
is, if someone did commit war crimes that would typically be considered war crimes anywhere, either on Sanguine or in San Andreas, there's nothing we can do because we don't. The Senate has told us we don't abide by the Geneva Convention.
Okay, but still, there are crimes committed there. Medical neutrality in itself. So what you're saying is, if you gaze everything under a war crime, nothing ever occurred. So by that own statement, treason never occurs.
What does treason have to do with the Geneva Convention?
I'm just saying in general, everything. I don't know. I'm just throwing some shit at the board. Hopefully it sticks with you on that one.
No, I kind of get what you're saying. Listen, my official opinion on this is that everything is extremely murky, and nothing is black and white. And some things I agree with, and some things I don't. So I think it would have been. My personal opinion is that removing due process has really
Fucked a lot of things up.
yeah because
Well, you had two people released without a trial. You know that, right?
yeah, I'm aware.
So, I mean, if you can get them in, get them out without due process, yeesh, that's not good look either, right?
And
David
no,
Ayamaz or Jeremiah Ayamaz, whatever the hell his name is, in Carmine.
yeah, I'm aware.
So it's like a selective. It only applies when we want it to apply, right?
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
Mhm.
I noticed that there was a 3-on-1 just now, and it's something to do with pending charges for you. What's that regarding?
Have you looked at LSBN?
Yeah, I've looked at LSB.
Did you
You
not
were
look at the
involved in
video?
that. I don't picture you in my mind, TJ, so I don't exactly know what you look like in orange.
I'm not. Well, I have orange pants,
Okay.
but yes, I'm involved with that. It even has in the article, my friend.
Yeah.
You
I'll
can
be
either
honest.
congratulate me for that one, thank me, or you can scold me. But either one, I'm hearing it's mixed responses from the PD side.
Murder's murder at the end of the day, TJ.
I'm aware, and that's exactly how I painted it to my lawyer as well. I said it doesn't matter if people hate him or like him; it's still murder. I'm still very realistic, Dark. I'm not like an idiot. Please don't forget, I was obviously a cop for a while.
No, I wouldn't forget that. So, listen, I'll be honest, TJ. You know, you wanted to talk to me, so you have my
Yes.
attention.
All right.
What can I help you with?
Well, I mean, think back before the war, Dark, right? We had this conversation, or a conversation. What did I ask for you? I wanted you to subpoena Brian Knight's phone. Did you do it? This is before the war started.
No, it hasn't been
look,
done.
And look where we're at. Brian's suspended. All this fuck shit has happened. There were so many red flags that were raised, Dark. If you haven't, please do.
I got a question.
Yep.
How'd you find out that Brian was suspended?
Violet Snow, who overheard it from Suarez.
Really?
I've been very upfront in how I found that out. I have told people everything that I have done in here, everything that I have organized. I have not lied to anyone. Yes, Violet Snow was in prison who overheard it from Alex Suarez.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to how you found out so quickly.
Well, apparently people found out from my twats earlier than they found out from the actual PD.
Yep, that's accurate. I suspended Brian, and then it was what 30 minutes later you were tweeting it out. So yeah, it was something.
Yep, that's true.
I mean, listen. When it comes to the Brian subpoena and all that, obviously he's been suspended. Pending investigation and review. The review's actually happening tomorrow. So
then you might want to have a little bit of a longer conversation with me, Dark, about him. You got some questions that you probably need to answer. You've heard Shelly's shit, right? She's all over Twitter about the whole murder and everything else.
You remember the stuff with Bass? Or I'm not very good with Twitter, right? And Brian was involved in some capacity.
Yeah, you remember the whole Norman Bones shit, right?
Unfortunately, yes, I do.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you a very long version, condensed here. Is I killed Bass because I had a deal. Bass went down there. Norman gets a deal out of Bass. He also gets a deal out of Brian. Unbeknowingly, Brian doesn't know about Bass's deal. Bass comes back, has to kill Shelly as part of his deal. Shelly is then taken care of. You see the things all over Twitter. Brian's deal is he loses his sanity. I've asked Snow to do an actual mental status exam on him. See if he's actually fit for duty, and everything else that has been happening is a result of me trying to get you to subpoena his phone. A lot of this shit goes back years with this, Dark. But everyone just wants to say it doesn't have any effect. But holy shit. When I sat there and talked with Brian, he brought it up clear as day. Wouldn't Norman love this? Fucking guy.
Yeah, I mean, that would explain a lot. I'll be honest.
But Dark, there's a lot of shit here. I just wish you would have actually paid attention to the subpoena while I'm telling you him and Lang and everything else with this. The Norman shit. Holy fuck, Dark.
I understand what you're saying, but subpoenas aren't just... I can't just click my fingers and make that happen. And even if I could, I wouldn't do that.
He's a government worker. If it's a possible that there is corruption, which has highly been exposed in the past few weeks, you need to look into it. If you're going to tell me that you're going to have an investigation into someone, you got to do a proper investigation.
I understand what you're saying. And just because he's a government worker doesn't mean that we have a right to search his phone.
Actually, you have all the right to search his phone. Anything that happens on a government phone is property of the government.
TJ, I understand what you're saying, boss, but, you know, that gets very murky with Fourth Amendment, and I would never want to open that Pandora's box.
So then tell me,
Because-
Dark, how does Lang Buddha make it on and off the island after the 48 hours had been up? And
I won't tell you how that happens, because I wasn't there.
I can, Brian.
And the proof you have of this?
Get the subpoena, Dark. Why is Lang, Harry, Speedy, Denzel, why are they going over to the island planting cameras, motion sensors? Why? They weren't in the war.
I get your point.
I sat
Listen.
in front of a motion sensor and set it off 100 times just to fuck with them.
Yeah, that sounds like
had
a
a-
BBMC thing to do.
I know. I had a one-on-one standoff with Harry Brown on an island. He and I pointing a gun at each other, asking what the fuck he was doing was in full camo. Funny enough, I knew there was a one-way entrance and I had a helicopter, so I just took off and left him there. If you choose to ignore these things, Dark, then you're no better than anyone else with this. I thought you would be.
No one's choosing to ignore anything. I can tell you that much. Actually, you know what? I can't say that for everybody. I can say I'm not choosing to overlook anything. But this isn't the kind of thing I can solve overnight or deal with overnight.
I just hope that when you shoot your shot at whatever thing he's got coming up, that you do it with all the information and the most pertinent information that you can have. Because he's going to tear into it, and you know he will.
All right, TJ. Well, I appreciate the advice.
Well, I've dealt with him long enough, and I wish you all the best.
I'm gonna 3-on-1 for DLC, so
Yeah,
you know,
this call's over.
this call's over. See you,
Bye,
Terrence.
Dark.
DLC from PD.
Send it.
Be advised, I just got off the phone with TJ Walker, who is currently in prison for 30 years, so he's got a phone.
Hey, Furbo, check on that. He's an AdSeg.
Thank you very much.
This is like second phone to remove today.
I think she just snored on radio. Well, we finally got to speak to TJ. I don't know about this Brian thing, about the subpoena and everything. Yeah, I don't really know what we are to do with it. It's something that Dark is considering, but obviously Dark does things the right way. So if we're going to be doing it, then it's got to be for a good reason. Obviously, we could go with the Bundy route, and the conspiracy to commit murder is one way we could do it. But obviously, that was on 8/11. It's all about scope, really. It's really all about scope and how we want to do it, and if it's going to be the right way to do it as well. And then you've got this Kiki thing, with the ominous phone call, you know, however long before. That's a good question, actually. Hold on. One more phone call before bed. Come on, Odessa. Pick up. The issue now arises, does Dark contact Aurora and question her whether or not she's pushing a phone subpoena on Brian Knight to see if there was any communication between him and Divine? I wonder if Dark has to push that or not. You know what? Let's call some tea. I'm down for it.
Hello?
Hello, Aurora. I'm just calling to make sure. I spoke to Odessa already about it, but I spoke to Kiki, and apparently Kiki. I don't know. Are you working the Kiki case?
Just pretty much like how it ties to Divine. Erin just filled me in. She got Kiki's statement and stuff.
Oh, so is Aaron working the case?
Yeah, I don't know who is actually working that formally. I think it's just kind of an incident, we know it was Divine that shot her, as far as I'm aware. And we know Balto may be involved. We're trying to figure that out, but I don't know how much more people are looking into on it.
Do we have a motive or anything on Divine yet?
We believe it could be. So in the PowerPoint that he had created that we recovered on his phone, he had things about attacking EMS, DOC, PD, and government buildings to destabilize the government. So that is one idea of it. Another thought is in that PowerPoint, it also talks about Balto, and Balto may have actually been the target, and Kiki was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Okay. I guess what I'm ringing for is what's the current consideration about the phone call Kiki received from Brian Knight?
It was from Brian? I was told about a phone call that was made. I said it was just a strange voice. They didn't say who it was.
Yeah. So as far as I've been told, Kiki received a phone call at some point prior to, I guess, being shot from Brian. I possibly a day before, yeah. And Brian basically said that she was going to receive a gift within 24 hours. Yeah.
Okay. I heard about that. I didn't know that it was Brian that goes into it, and that creates a whole nother sort of issues with this.
Okay. Yeah, I'll leave that with you, but obviously, listen, at this point, Brian's a civilian, so treat him like anybody else.
He was stating this morning that he is still unsuspended and has... I don't know if that's the case, but that's what he had said.
Okay, regardless, you know, investigate it like any other case.
Yeah, we'll do. All right, thank you for letting me know that.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Alrighty then. Well, we won't be able to speak to Svensson or Tessa tonight because they're not around. So I'm going to take the opportunity to sleep and bench. And we'll come back to this tomorrow. Now, I want to make... Listen, don't forget, chat. Just don't forget. This isn't going to end at the panel for Brian. Let's be honest. This panel is going to be an inflection point, I think, for Brian's story. So... whatever happens, I think it'll be good. It'll be tea. And that's all that matters. As long as it's a good story, that's all the heck it matters. I'm going to bench. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you all for the love and support. Devils, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Unreal, thank you for the 8 months. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.